Welcome once again, guys, to the brand new installment of the Visual Vapor Reviews. Now, today, I understand it's Throwdown Thursdays, but before we do a throwdown of the flavors, we're going to do an in-depth study and review of the Athena Squonk Box by Geekvape. And we're going to do a breakdown of it, all taken apart. I have it all taken apart down here. I get it all taken apart completely, every part that I have except the build deck, which has the coils already in it. We'll get into that in a little bit, but we'll go right on to it. I wrote a whole review piece here. I've got it sitting right here on my tablet, so I can read it off to you while I'm explaining different parts of it. Yesterday I got my 18650 charger, so I spent all last night charging my 18650s to the brim. And of course, I got my banana split in my iJoy Limitless, so we'll get right to it. All right, let's set this down, get a sip of water real quick, and we'll go right into it. Okay, so how you guys all doing today? We've been doing a lot of things in the past few weeks of the Visual Vapor Reviews, trying to get my schedule down pat and trying to get the system fully ready for everything. So let's get right into the written review, and then we'll start off with the actual physical review of the product. So 2017 will be forever remembered in the vaping universe, or the vaping verse, as the year that introduced us to the squonk. Well, introduced may not exactly be the right word. More along the lines of mainly because bottom-feeding, fully integrated atomizers and mechanical mods, aka squonks nowadays, date back to at least 2009. But squonks started to become commercially viable only in the last few years. So as 2018 came along and got things a little bit more viable and useful in their time. In the past year, we've really seen the uptick in popularity of squonking mods. So 2017 could be thought of as the year of the squonk. So, sorry for the silence there for a second. I had to see what was going on. So I'm excited about this review since it'll mark the first time I've really reviewed a squonk mod, and my excitement only grew when I realized that this squonk comes to us from Geekvape, one of the more technically proficient and Greek mythology obsessed vape companies, whose Aegis box mod was well reviewed for being compact and a powerful device. So I was really happy with those before. I've never actually reviewed the Aegis box mod yet, so I really want to as soon as possible, possibly after this one. The Athena Squonk mod includes a rebuildable Athena atomizer and the Athena mechanical mod, which is powered by a single 18650 battery, which is not included in it. The Athena is an unregulated box, so there's no onboard chipset or any other adjustable feature like variable wattage and temperature control. So here's what you'll find in your Squonk kit from Athena Squonk kit from the RDA Geek Vapes. You'll get one Athena mod, one RDA, one Squonk bottle, two Squonk bottles, one drip tip, one 510 drip tip adapter, one 510 drip tip, an Allen key, an instruction manual, and a bag of spare parts, such as your solid 510 threaded adjustable pin, which is solid, and then you have your squonk pin pre-installed. You get your replacement seals, O-rings, stuff like that, to help with in case any of your pieces snap. So there are various pieces. So next up, with the look over, the Athena, for all its godly pedigree, does not seem like much when all of its parts are taken out. But this is the appeal for mods like these. A lot of parts are interchangeable and can be personalized to a certain degree. The Athena mod has two removable side panels that allow easy access to the interior section of the device. One side panel features a small cut that lets you squeeze your squonk bottle, which is made from a super soft jelly-like silicone, which is also quite durable. model. The mod is built with a combination of aluminum and stainless steel and has some elegant Greek mythology-inspired accents around the 510 connector of the top of the device, and has a very prominent Athena logo etched into the device. The firing button on its side is quite significant and responds very well. The Athena is surprisingly compact in its size, measuring only 24 millimeters in height, and has some great features that allow for easy portability, as well as its simple-to-use button locking feature and its unleakable e-juice reservoir inside the device. The Athena is also quite quite sleek, and measures in 7 millimeters in height and fits well into with a 510 connection on top of the mod. The RDA features a postless deck, but that shouldn't dissuade any amateur builders, since the kit comes with a handy Allen key so you can easily screw in any coil build. The RDA also gives you the option with two different drip tips, a standard 510 and a more out-of-the-ordinary 810, which I prefer more over the 510 for this device. I preferred the 810 both for the aesthetic reasons as well as because I liked the wider bore and the 810 mouthpieces. Underneath the mouthpiece is two top airflow vents that turn symmetrically and are angled down. So it's a really easy thing when you're building on it. Velocity decks are usually considered the most straightforward decks to build on, with their two-tier prominent posts. The deck on the Athena is not a velocity deck, so there is a slight learning curve to the Athena, although you also want to make sure that the height of your coils doesn't interfere or get in the way of any of the other parts of the atomizer, like the airflow vents. But other than that, there isn't much else to complicate your build. I used a straightforward clapped-in Clapcepticon coil, which is a build resistance of 0.18 ohms. There wasn't any real problem installing the coil since the flat-headed screws were wide and didn't present any issue coming loose. I found that personally I had to really get them tight at first off. I actually have the build deck with the Clapcepticon coils on here. You have your two screw holes right there at the tip of my finger on either side, on both sides, and they're both really sturdy. They don't come apart, and all in all, it's a very easy device to learn to build on. You have your two seals right here to prevent leaking, and the best part is because the airflow isn't where these two notches are, you have a lot of space in between. Those aren't the airflow, they're actually the notches to lock the barrel into place, which is this piece and the Athena logo that it was talking about, which is also prominent on the mod as well. So you have two Athena logos right here. And this is completely taken apart. Nothing except the 510 and the piece there. There's no bottom connection yet. We'll get to that in a minute. So pretty easy when it comes to vaping. You can come to expect certain things when vaping on a mech mod like the Athena, and one of them is the production of long, thick clouds. The e-juice bottle, which had problems of its own that I'll get onto later, can hold up to 6 mils of e-juice and can be assured of a lengthy vaping session. I also juiced my cotton wicks before I closed up the atomizer, and one thing about the top cap is that it is press fitted, so there are no threads, but even still the top cap fits nicely and stayed in place. The mod fired immediately with no delay whatsoever. I left the airflow vents wide open, and the draw was excellent, almost effortless. With a full tank inside, I vaped for at least a whole day with moderate use. So, how the Athena squonk kit stacks up. I went straight for VandyVape's Pulse BF squonk mod, as to make a comparison to the Athena RDA squonk mod. I've used the Pulse once before, but I've never reviewed it. In comparison to the Athena, that's where I stacked the two against each other, because the Athena Pulse and the Athena Sorry, had to sneeze. Sorry, I misspoke there. The VandyVape's Pulse BF stacks up very nicely against the Athena, because the first real squonk that I ever heard about was the Pulse BF, and the Athena was just kind of a sideliner. Let's see. Still got a full bottle. Yay. Alright. So, I also liked the major pro of being able to use 2700 batteries as well as 18650s in the Pulse VF, but sadly the Athena can only use an 18650, which meant I had to buy new batteries. I also like the e-juice bottle on the Pulse BF, which has a much firmer but more responsive than the gelatinous bottle structure on the Athena. Sometimes I can't read my own handwriting. The Pulse BF also has a neutral locking switch, similar to the one on the Athena. The Pulse BF is also made of cheaper material, although that does not detract from its build or construction. The nylon finish on the Pulse BF made it lightweight and great to take with you. The Pulse BF was also easier on the wallet than the Athena's $70 price tag. I paid $80 for mine. Considering that online it's $70, but I paid $90 at a store for it, compared to the $40 that you'll plunk down for the Pulse BF. However, the Athena RDA was a great accompaniment to the mod, and its vapor production was excellent. I still think the Pulse BF probably had more pros than fewer cons than the Athena. The things I really liked about it were the build, the firing button, and the RDA, and we'll go into those subtopics. For the build, the Athena was well made and well built. The layout was so intuitively simple that the opening up of the mod to explore its internals was like reading an instruction manual, since everything about the inside was so easily understandable. The firing button was also really responsive, made great contact with the firing pin inside, and the locking feature was also a welcome addition to the mod's great design, because you didn't have to worry about whether or not the mod would fire in your pocket as long as you had it locked. So that was a really big pro for me. So the RDA itself was a great performing atomizer. The decks did not make for the most straightforward build in the world, but manageable after a few tries, and amateur builders should not have a problem finding their way around it once they learn the curve. Performance with it addressed the fact that with your build fully installed and your wicks pre-juiced and your battery in place, the vapor production on the Athena was sure to be superior, and it was. The squonk bottle should have both a soft feel and an easily malleable, but also firm enough to reform easily. The two bottles, silicone and plastic, that came with the Athena were neither. The silicone bottle was too soft and a little deformed every time you pressed it, while the plastic option was at the other end being too hard. The side doors, while the side doors of the Athena did not come off so easily, I wasn't so convinced that they would hold in place during the extended outdoor or portable use, but overall I have found them never to be any problems with that, due to the fact of these six magnets that are found on the neodymium rare earth magnets that sit perfectly in place every time, and I haven't found a single problem with them. So all in all, with my first review of the Squonk mod coming to an end, I find myself a little underwhelmed. I don't know what I was expecting exactly, but the bottom feeding tank was more of a novelty than an actual vaping innovation. I would like to see an e-juice bottle wholly hidden within the device that has an external mechanism that you press to refill your juice well. I don't like the exposed versions, since they might be punctured or have something else happen to them. The Athena, however, did perform rather well, and the Athena was not as simple as you think. But it was not so frustratingly hard to build on that it was for the most experienced vapors. And most of all, with the coming together of the coil build and the 6ml e-juice container and the unregulated single cell mod made for some great vaping. I gave the Athena Squonk mod a solid 8 out of 10. So thank you so much for checking out that review. Really, I hope you guys liked it. Please leave your comments in the comment section of the crotch box down below, and I'll be sure to get back to you with that. Now that I've finished the written review, we'll get right into the most important part of it all, the assembly and vaping. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do something I haven't done in a while. Grab the camera piece here. Give me just a second, because we're going to do a down and dirty vapes. That's right, people. We're going to do it down and dirty today to show you guys the installment, the build, and how we work on this Athena Squonker. So for your viewing pleasure, let's get down and dirty with this. So we'll set the phone down just like the old days, and we'll pull the light over so you guys can see a little bit better. Let's pull this over here. Hold on. Got to make sure we have enough light here. Hold on. That should do it, I think. All right. So as you guys can see, I've got the two side panels that were mentioned in the review as I held them up before. And of course, I actually want to hold them like this because this is the way they will go on. So we'll set these off to the side for a minute. We'll get a look-see at those motifs that were described for Great Mythology. Really nice piece. This is the connector piece to the firing switch that I was telling you about before, and it just clips in really easy underneath everything. Really easy, really compact, like so. Now it's made that spring-loaded connection. You have your lock right here. Really easy to lock and unlock. Nothing too hard. You got your 810 drip tip and your barrel section. I'm going to open that airflow wide up. And I'm going to put the barrel section in real quick because I want to screw this down onto the mod itself. So we're going to just screw those on real quick. There we go. Make sure this is nice and tight. And it is. So now we can take the barrel off and take a look at the build. So I don't know how well you guys can see this, but this is a triple fused Clapsepticon coil. So really simple build. It's a 0.18 ohm resistance. Nothing too huge. Nothing too scary. I'm just going to adjust my coils real quick, because since I built them the last time, they have kind of bent out of shape a little bit. So I'm going to just kind of give them a good straightening. There we go. Nice and neat. Just gonna angle these down just a little bit so they're nice and even. There we go. Nice. Alright, so we got the coils all ready to go. I'm going to take my 18650 battery. So this is the plus side, this is the minus side. You want to put the plus side down. And this makes the connection. The reason I'm making the connection right off the bat is because I want to make sure that this has everything it needs. So I'm going to fire it up, give it a quick dry fire before doing anything, and then we'll go into the rest of the bottles. I'm going to make it nice and red hot. There we go. There we go. Nice and red hot. Now I'm going to take the battery out just to be safe for while I'm building on this, because I don't want to I can lock it, but I'm not going to. So while I wait for that to cool down, we're going to take a look at the squonk bottle. This is the aforementioned squonk bottle. It actually is a little more responsive as it wears down, and I find that to be a very good pro to it. As you can kind of see, the juice is going up and down as I squeeze it ever so slightly. So we've got our ball of cotton, organic Japanese cotton, and we've already got that juice already filled up in there. So we've got the cool melon in there, so it'll be a really nice flavor to vape with. Now that I'm 95% sure that's cooled down enough. Yeah, warm, but not burnable yet. I just want to make sure these aren't too hot when I go to put my cotton in it. So I'm going to unwrap my Japanese cotton ball. Just kind of tear at it a little bit, which is okay. It's not a big deal. We're just trying to unravel it. There we go. Now we've got it completely unraveled, and we can separate this right about here, because we don't need too much, guys. It's really not that bad. So I like to separate this in half first before I go to figure out how much I'm going to need. I'm going to separate this just a little bit more right here. Then you should see a thickness like that. Not that bad at all. So now what you want to do is you want to just twist it up like that, and then feed it through your wick holes. Now the trick to a squonk RDA is you want to make sure that it's not too tight when it goes through, so it has just enough surface area to be covered. There we go. And once you feel that resistance, you want to stop right there. Now you can move on to your next coil, which is very simple. I'm going to separate just a little bit more from that. There we go. And then, of course, twist it like so. Feed it through. Give it a good tug until I feel little resistance. And now we're at that part where we need to cut them, trim, fluff out, and cut. So we're going to take the excess cotton that I have here, move that out of the way, grab my flathead screwdriver, and just give it a nice little comb out. Nothing huge, nothing horrible, just a nice little comb out to kind of get it nice and fluffy and easier to cut. And you'll see little fibers of it coming right off the bat, and that's okay. That's not a bad thing. That's actually pretty normal. So some parts you can just pull off after the comb out, like this. There we go. And you'll notice that my wick tails are definitely too long right now, so what I gotta do is I gotta give them a little snippy snip. So I try to go just a little bit after the deck section, which is pretty easy. Just give them a good nip right there. Probably right about there. There we go. Nice and easy. Alright, now that I've got that all set up, we can begin tucking the wicks and going from there. So, now that I've got them all fluffed out and ready to go, what I like to do is just give the first one a little tuck. And I notice that it takes up just a little too much of the area, so that's when I just move it to the side and tuck out the next one, tuck in the next one. Try and keep it nice and fluffy without pulling the cotton through. And then just make sure that all your cotton is tucked down, not tightly, but not too loose either. There we go. Alright, she's ready for the juice up. So what I like to do is I'm going to use my squonk bottle, believe it or not, just to kind of saturate my cotton here. So, pardon me if I'm quiet for a few minutes. I'm going to be saturating my wicks, just trying to get them nice and soaked up. There we go. So those are just starting to saturate. Now I can plug my squonk bottle in and put my battery in here as well. Now I'm going to test my squonker, make sure she squonks properly. Yep, she's squonking. So now what I can do is I can find out which way I want to hold it, line up my squonk bottle. There we go. Hear that press click. Put this in, like so, and now the magic can happen. I can give it a full squonk without having to worry about it. What I'm doing right now is I'm filling up the cotton completely. I'm literally flooding the entire tank right now. And the main goal right now is just to make sure that everything's nice and saturated. Once I hear that bubble, there we go. That means it's safe to open. And looky there. Full juice well and a full tank. Let's see what she does. Well, dang. That's a full squonker if I ever heard it. So, let's give her one more good squonk. Hold it there for a good minute. Let it go. So, that was down and dirty, guys. Let's pull you back up. Alright, so that was down and dirty with the Athena Squonk Rebuildable. That was a really satisfying build. I liked that. Alright, so got cool mint in here, cool melon in here. Really good flavor. I've picked it up before. It's by Profit Vapes. So let's see what we got here. Ooh, no airflow. Hold up. Hello, gorgeous. That's some tasty vape right there. Whew. That's really nice. I'm definitely getting a lot of melon. Instant cloud for days. That's good flavor for... Wow. That is amazing. So, not too mentholy, not too cold, not too melony, not too overwhelming. Definitely like it. That's good flavor. All right. So now that we've done the whole in-depth study / review of the Athena Squonker, it's about time we get down to the point of this video for today, the Throwdown Thursday. And I'm not going to be doing a throwdown between these two mods, because I've done that before. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do a throwdown of flavor. So we've got Banana Split in my iJoy Avenger, and we got the Profit Cool Melon in here with the Squonker. We're going to test its viscosity. We're going to test its cloud production. And finally, we're going to test its flavor. So which one is better, and this is all in subjective opinion, so it's optional for you guys to have your own opinions, but based on my opinion. So we'll start off with the Athena Squonk, because we just rebuilt it and reviewed it, so let's see what we got. Cool melon. Ready? Let's go. Well, that is some good flavor right there. No spit back, no gurgle, no nothing. Gonna give her a little bit of a squonk though. That was satisfying right there. That was satisfying. So now let's go on to the Limitless with Banana Split, and let's try it out. Not bad at all. The Banana Split really really pops on this. Of course, there's a little bit of menthol flavor in there because of my last flavor that was in here before, but all in all, the Banana Split's really coming through. Just dang, that flavor is popping. Alright, now we're going to try the vapor production in terms of the 30 to 70 PG-VG ratio and the 50-50 PG-VG ratio. So let's see what we do. That one completely clouded out the screen for a good 2 seconds. Let's try it one more time. That was 3 seconds. Okay. Now it's time to see how well this clouds out. Ready? Let's do it. Four whole seconds. That's longer than the Athena Squonk. So this is putting out more vapor. Let's try it one more time just to see. Yep, 4 seconds. So this beats it in cloud production. The 50-50 is better than the 30-70 in cloud production for time frame. But still, all in all, I think the Athena Squonk's got the better flavor. So that about wraps it up for Throwdown Thursdays, guys. Thanks so much for tuning into this review or in-depth study of the Athena Squonk. And thanks so much for tuning in for Throwdown Thursdays. It's been wonderful. I'm going to be doing some work later on in the week, and then going down to Massachusetts on Sunday for a Christmas get-together type thing for my grandmother, because she's going up to down to Florida, so that'll be pretty fun. So until next time, guys, as always, thanks for leaving all your wonderful views. Be sure to like and subscribe, ring that notification bell so you're always up to date on the latest updates from the VVR, and be sure to leave your questions and comments down in the crotch box. So until next time, as always, guys, I'm your host, Michael Cobb, and these have been the Visual Vapor Reviews. Peace, guys.